Float Locker, and this is where you learn how to not invest like a degenerate, where I teach you how to profit in the stock market. So here we go, where this today's video is going to be on how to start trading options. Like if you're new to the game and you want to know where to start, I'm going to give you a little summary here, or just like a condensed video here of where to go, how to learn it, what to do, what is mistakes to avoid, and just give you a little background on my experiences. So yeah, so we'll go here. This is my account. I opened this account in June of 2020. Just to show with full transparency how to actually grow an account in real time, and to show how possible it is using a strategy that isn't too risky, that is consistent, and just requires a little discipline, and just stay persistent and follow market trends. No opinions here, just trading the market. You can see here, started it in June, or actually May, late May. That's when I opened it, and then started trading it in June. And then September 1st was our high. Had a dip in September. It was a pretty brutal month. Lost about 3K of our gains, but we pretty much gained them all back. So that's our P&L for that. Here's my website, thefloatlocker.com. If you haven't already, just go to my website and subscribe. Currently up in that portfolio I showed you, we're up 51.5% since June. Just go down here and subscribe. Also, a little window will pop up. You can also see my P&L updates. I post them every week. You just go through and just check them out every week. Every Sunday, I try to post them, show you what I'm thinking in the markets, what positions I put on. I put out all my trade executions, my P&L obviously, and just a little just an update on what's going on, and even a link to my videos. Game plan, portfolio performance, a complete breakdown every week. And then also I do every once in a while a trading performance breakdown, just to show you how my trading is going, in this account. Give you an idea of what it takes, and how you can be consistent. I even throw some little education here and there from time to time. And then that's pretty much it. Give the website a follow. Alright, so yeah, how to start trading options. So here's my account. So what I like to do, a lot of people ask me if they should start paper trading, and my response to that is just no. So I'm going to speak about paper trading versus real trading, which stocks to trade when you first start out, how much money to start with when you're learning how to trade, and then yeah, that's pretty much a quick summary of what I'm going to talk about here. So all right, so just about a little bit of background on me. I've been trading for over a decade. I started trading penny stocks, actually like sub penny stocks. I was trading like, just the garbage stocks, man. And I did okay here and there, but it was very risky. And I think back in like 2009, 2010, penny stocks were really liquid. There was a lot of activity, a lot of trading activity there, and I think nowadays, there's still activity in those markets, but not as much as they used to. I think more people are starting to transition to options. People are starting to realize that there's options now. You can trade very cheaply. You could trade with a very little bit amount of money on some big names like Apple, Google, Tesla, right, with options. You don't need a shit ton of money to buy common stock. So I think the more people realize this, the more it lures them in, right? Because you're trading a reputable company for not that much money. Then you have Robinhood with fractional shares, right? It's just bringing in more the masses to trade quality, reputable names, right? Not shit penny stocks. So, I started trading that, and then I went off. I went on and started trading, day trading stocks, but I didn't have 25,000 at the time. I started trading through like those overseas brokers, where you put in 5K, they give you 5-to-1 margin on your money. Right, and then but the only one of the requirements was that you had to close out all your positions by the end of the day. You couldn't hold positions overnight, which was a problem because the way I like to trade is I like to hold positions and massage them and try to get them to work out, right? But you're limited to having your plays work out that day, which it's just another obstacle in this game that's so hard, and it's based on how much of a slight edge you can have and exploiting that edge, right? In this game is so efficient, where there's no real inefficiency in the stock market, in the US stock market, where you can continuously make money by exploiting that edge, right? So it's all a it's a game that's very efficient. So having that obstacle of not being able to hold positions overnight just was limiting to your profitability. It just wasn't ideal for me. So once I moved on from day trading stocks, I discovered options. And initially I started just buying options, weekly options, day trading them. It was like day trading common stock, except I was day trading options, which is actually worse than trading stock, because not only do you have to have that play work out, right, on that day, you're trying to get it to work that day because you're buying same day expiration, which are super cheap, which make them super volatile, right? But you also had the component of theta decay, and that was another obstacle, right, in preventing you from profiting, right? So it was just another obstacle in your way that you have to maneuver your way around, right? Which makes it more difficult to trade, right? So in this game, you want to make things as easy as possible and give yourself give yourself an avenue of least resistance. You need to be able to find a way that works for you, right? For me, it's selling options, right? That really works for me. But you might be a penny stock day trader, right? Who knows? There's so many different markets, crypto markets, all these, right? But we're just gonna kind of focus in on this video on how to start trading options. So initially I was losing my ass on day trading options, but then I eventually honed my skills to where I was getting profitable, but the problem was that it required a lot of focus because of the theta decay component. Being focused all day on these option plays was just tough, and especially if you're working a full-time job, it's impossible, right? It's impossible to do. So especially you have to work your job, right? So you can't concentrate all the time. So that wasn't it came to a point where I just couldn't do it. So I think even though that it wasn't working out, I learned a lot from day trading options, right? I learned a lot about options, and so it really attributed to my experience and helped me grow as a trader, and learning the options game and how it works, reading order flow, learning
how stocks move based on options, how options move, because they move a little differently than just the stock, right? There's sometimes there's lag, or there's sometimes you can like quote unquote predict a move in the stock by the way the options are trading, right? And these are things that you see and just have to experience and learn on your own. But there's people out there that teach this stuff that I would suggest. So moving on from there, right? Buying options, 80 to 90% of the options they expire worthless. So if they're expiring worthless 90% of the time, then what the hell are you doing buying them, right? So odds are even more against you, right? If they aren't already or if you don't already think so, you even have more odds against you. Like 80 to 90% of these options are just trash, right? Just pure trash. So, you're buying this trash, you're flipping this trash, right? Like, I mean, especially out of the money options. You're flipping out of money options when they have no intrinsic value. It's just perceived value, right? They're not even in the money, so there's no value. When they expire and if they're out of the money, they go to zero. There's no worth to them. So you're trading, what you're trading are people's opinions about that option on how much it's worth. And it's a game of hot potato. Pass it off to the next guy, you take it on, but you gotta flip that thing as quickly as you get a profit, right? There's no waiting for the move when day trading options, right? You have to catch that move right then and there, right? So moving on from that, right? I then discovered selling premium, selling options. So that was the game changer, right? And there was multiple resources that I used over a few years of just like compiling and learning and testing and just wrapping my head around selling options, right? Because it was such a concept that was not taught at all. Like no one really taught it at the time, especially a few years ago. And just trying to wrap my head around, like, wait, selling options, right? You're just selling it. So you become the house. You sell it to people. You sell it to other people, and they're the ones that are day trading, right? And they're trying to they're gambling and whatever, right? Like trying to make a quick buck. Trying to turn $5 into 5 million, right? With options. That's the lure of options, right? Because you can make a lot of money with a little bit of money. 20 to 30% returns on your money in an hour is not unheard of in options. That's like the norm, right? So that's what brings people in. But if you can be on the other side of that trade and sell people these options, then that's where this game gets interesting. Because if 80 to 90% of options expire worthless, then hell, why aren't you just selling them, right? And winning 80 to 90% of the time, right? So there's trade-offs, right, with selling options. You need more capital, right? You need you need to allow time to work time works in your favor, right? But you have to be patient, right? As opposed to day trading options, everything's like instant gratification, or usually it's not instant gratification. Usually you're getting your ass handed to you, right? So with selling options, you just allowing time to work, and you're just waiting for that time to pass so you can collect that theta decay. That's the whole game right there with trading, with selling options. So that was a game changer, and it became a high probability trade, and the risk was a lot lower, right, when you're selling options. So that's how I started. The rest is history. But how can you start learning how to trade options? So first off, people ask me about paper trading. Paper trading versus real trading, right? Should you paper trade? The only reason why you need a paper trade is to learn the platform. Like learn where the buttons are. If you trade on your computer, or even if you trade on your phone, now they have TD Ameritrade has paper trading on the mobile device. Just to learn how to put in orders, like actually doing the physical order execution, learning the chart, how to access charts, learning how to manage your positions, right? That's all it should be for. And at max, that should take maybe, I would say give it a week, couple weeks, right, of paper trading, right, till you learn that platform inside and out, right, for what you need, right? Like, I mean, you don't have to go crazy and very intuitive or dig deep into it, right? You just need to know how to place orders, not how to fuck up an order, right, and just learn how to trade on there. Now, the reason why I tell people don't waste your time paper trading is because it is that. It's a waste of time. It's an absolute waste of time. And here's why. You're using fake money. Your actual hard-earned money isn't on the line. And that is the game. That is the game, right? In a nutshell, that is the game. Your money on the line, how you can handle a situation when things go against you. What do you do when your money is at risk and things aren't going your way? What do you do? You can't learn that paper trading. You'll just hold. If things are going against you, you just hold it, and the next day you're up like $10 million, right? Like, or I see people like, that have $5K to trade with in real money, but they're trading with $100,000 on their paper trade account. I'm like, dude, how are you learning? It's easy to make $100 a day with $100,000. Anybody can do that, right? I mean, a monkey can do that. Can you make $100 a day on $5,000? Right? That's the real, like, you have to, if you're gonna paper trade, you have to really keep it identical to what you're going to be doing. But that's why I say don't paper trade, because that psychological aspect of dealing with your money when it's on the line and when things aren't going against you, you can't fake that. You can't train for that with fake money, right? So that's why I say put real money on the line. Now, with that said, if you're just starting, use very little bit amount of money, right? You're only, this is a training account. Training, not trading, training. Like, you're learning. So you're gonna trade with the smallest amount smallest amount of shares or options as possible, right? So with shares, if you're a beginner, start with one stock, right? Now you really want to hone and learn, right? So what you want to do is take one stock, take like Apple, or like maybe a cheaper stock, right? Like maybe like a $50 name, $30 name, right? Like whatever, like AMD or something, right? It's like $80, $80 a share, and trade it with stock, with common stock, and just buy one share. Now, do that consistently and trade it using whatever strategy you want to use. I don't care what strategy you use, because honestly, any strategy out there can work. The key to making it work is your mentality, your psychological, psychological well-being, and learning how to endure and knowing how to mitigate risk, right? So if you can trade one share of stock, say like AMD, consistently for 6 months, and only day in day out just trade AMD and learn that stock in and out, right? And if you're profitable after 6 months, I'd say you're ready to trade for real, right? Then start upping the shares, up in the shares, start go to 10 shares, right? Or 5 shares, whatever, right? And do that maybe for another 6 months, and really get that down, right? So there's steps to this, right? And when you finally get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm comfortable trading stock, I'm ready to trade options, then you can start learning the world of options, because it's a totally different game. It's the stock trading game, but there's more components added to it, more variables, and this is where things get really like murky. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get really hurt with options. So, but if you know options inside and out and know how they work, I'd say they're better than trading stock. I'd say they're safer than trading stock, common stock, because here's why. You can go into an earnings play on a stock, buy like say if you have 100 shares of Apple. Apple has bad earnings, drops down, let's say $20 a share. You're down, on 100 shares on $20 a share. You're down what, $2,000, right? Like that's $2,000. As opposed to, like, if you want to take an earnings play with options, there's ways to do it where you can actually define your risk, and no matter what the stock does, the stock could go to zero and you'll still only lose what you're willing to risk. So that's my spiel on that. So another question I get is, how much should I start trading with? Like, how much money should I use to start trading? Well, if you're a total beginner and you're learning that stock, it's just trading stock, right? 5K is fine. Trade one stock, do that for 6 months. 6 months, if you're profitable, up the shares to 5 or 10 shares a play, right? And stay consistent, right? And trade that for another 6 months. And if you're profitable, I'd say you're ready. I'd say 90% of you will probably not follow that, because you're ready to just jump into the seat and ready to start making real money, right? Like, you're like, I don't want to waste my time trading one share. But honestly, it's going to help you a lot in the long run. You'll save a lot of money. You'll save yourself from multiple blown accounts. You'll really understand the game. But people don't listen. So it's you can take it with a grain of salt and go in guns blazing. But I'll tell you right now, you're probably gonna lose, most likely. I'd say 99% you're gonna lose, especially if you jump in trading options without having any clue of what's going on. You're gonna lose. Simple as that. Just take it from me, because I've been there and it sucks. I've been there, blown up quite a few accounts because I was impatient. I was that guy. And I've heard people tell me the same thing. You know what? Just trade very small. And I'm like, I got this. I can learn this. And it was a tough road, man. So take it from me. Trade small. That is the key. Trading small and building up from there. As you get comfortable bringing in size and being able to handle the swings, right? That's when over time, then you're going to become a trader where you're going to be just making some decent money, right? All right, so yeah, so 5K is fine if you're a total beginner, and then if you're looking to, when you're ready to start trading options and start selling options, I'd say at least $10,000. At least $10,000, because when you're selling premium, there are capital requirements to put on a trade, especially if you're putting on naked positions. Like my strategy, I like shorting naked puts. Right, that's usually how I start out into a position, and sometimes I turn it into a strangle, or from a strangle to a straddle, right? And it uses a lot of capital. So that's why I suggest $10,000. But if you have to, I'd say, you could do it with 5K. It's just you're going to be very limited, and you probably have to use defined risk strategies like spreads, like credit spreads, right? So credit spreads can work too. I'm just not a huge fan of them because it requires you to be in the trade longer than you would a naked position, right? And the longer you're in a trade, the more time there is for the stock to really go against you. So that's the trade-off. Yeah, you define your risk with a credit spread, but honestly, you're in the trade much longer than you would if it's just a naked short put position, right? Yeah, there's risk with short puts, but there's tools and there's management strategies to use to help manage a loser, right? There's ways to defend a naked position, whereas a credit spread, any spread, you really don't have much options. It's either you win or lose. That's it. There's no gray area where you could maybe trade your way out of it over time, right? By collecting credits over time and whatnot. But to learn about all that, I'd say I have it posted on my website. Like, I put it in. I put it on my website, and you can see from there. Like if you go, I believe in the information. Forgive me for not remembering, but if you go here, I believe. Core strategy right here. So I talk about the core strategy, how to prepare, and then and I post. I know I have I put my the brokers here. I'll have you can go to my website and check it out. And if you have any questions on exactly, if you can't find the the links like for the education of where to go, and it's free. These guys, they put it out there for free. I use Tasty Trade, right? Tasty Trade is great. It's very organized. They do a daily show. Their playlists are all organized by whatever you're trying to learn as far as selling options, and they go over everything, right? So I'd say that's probably the number one spot to really get started. So the link will be in the description below. It's tastytrade.com, and just start learning. It's a long road. So with that said, I kind of went over just kind of the gist of it, but if you listen to this video and you're thinking like, holy shit, that's a lot of work, I don't want to do all that, I don't want to go spend years learning this art, this trade, or learning how to trade, I just want to make money, right? Then don't go through this. Don't day trade. Don't even bother. This is what you do with your money. Do not keep it in the bank because you're going to lose 2% a year to inflation. What you want to do is take your money, right? Set up an auto deposit with your broker. I'd suggest every week do an auto deposit. But if you wanted to do it monthly, I'd say every week though. Every week, an auto deposit goes right into your brokerage account, and you buy just like a few, 2 or 3 major ETFs, broad market ETFs, like say the SPY, the QQQs, or whatever the banks, whatever you feel like, bonds, whatever, right? Whatever you feel comfortable, and you consistently invest in them over time, right? You invest every week into those ETFs and come back to it in 20 years. That's it. You should make about 6 to 8% return on it, and that's it. That'll be the way to do it. But if you're looking to make more than 6 to 8% per year, then this is what's required. It's required that you learn how to trade, right? If you want to make 50% in months, right? As opposed to 6 or 8, only 8% in a year, right? If you don't have time to wait, if you're really interested in doing this, then you need to train yourself and learn how to trade, because this is something that you don't just take lightly. This is not something that you just throw money at, right? Because it's a tough game. It's everybody out there is trying to come out with the same result. Everybody in this game is out for themselves, right? Everybody's trying to make their piece of the pie, right? And there's going to be losers. There has to be losers, but your losers don't have to be large losers. You could keep them small, trade small, use the probabilities of success. Manage your trades properly, stay mechanical, and I guarantee you'll make money. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be opening a brokerage account, a website, showing people every week how my trades are going if I didn't truly believe this worked. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And with that, thanks for watching, and good luck trading.